Euromaxx highlights. Coming up on the show, Scent Sensations. Euromaxx explores the heady world of perfume candles. Fine food, why French gourmets are heading for the Black Forest. Shop sensation. French puppets take over the windows of a Berlin department store. Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Karen Helmstedt.
Hi there and welcome to our Highlights edition. And we start off in Barcelona for a look at one of Europe's most famous works in progress, the Sagrada Familia Basilica. It was 125 years ago that one of Spain's most famous architects, Antoni Gaudí, took over its construction, and he would spend the greatest part of his life developing his unique Art Nouveau style on its imposing facades. Well, generations of architects later, the building is still not finished, but the current head architect says the painstaking progress remains true to Gaudí's original vision.
The Sagrada Familia is one of Barcelona's most famous landmarks. Construction began 126 years ago, but was never completed. It's Antoni Gaudí's unfinished masterpiece. One architect after another has worked on the building, which has come to symbolize the city. Jordi Bonet has been working on the project for over 2 decades.
I was appointed head architect in 1984, so I've been doing this for 24 years. And none of the nave we see here was there to begin with.
A year ago, the dome had to be closed. Now it's almost complete. The central nave should be finished by 2009, when the basilica will be celebrated with a special mass. Construction on the Sagrada Familia is ongoing and funded by donations. Antoni Gaudí was 31 when he first embarked on the project. Spending 43 years working on its realization, he would make the Sagrada Familia his life's work. He even lived in it for a time, until he met an untimely death under the wheels of a Barcelona tram in 1926. Over the years, a total of 7 architects succeeded Gaudí in devoting themselves to completing the building. One of them is Jordi Bonet.
It's not easy building something like this. It's a unique sort of architecture. Gaudí used to call it living architecture. That means it needs color and fluidity. The pillars have a certain fluidity, and color is everywhere.
Antoni Gaudí used to say that his architecture was inspired by nature. Many of the church's features are evocative of trees, flowers, and leaves, and the current construction team is keen to continue in this vein.
The work is divided up between the technical department and the masonry department, which you can see here. Our main job is to implement the plans sent to us by the architects and to translate them into the various types of stone at our disposal.
Antoni Gaudí's plans went missing during the Spanish Civil War. All there was to go by were fragments of his original models. Once they were pieced together on the computer to create a digital model of the architect's vision, the building process became much more efficient. But in fact, it's the unfinished charm of the surrealist structure that draws the tourists.
It's amazing, it's wonderful, yes.
Outside it's really beautiful.
Just the massiveness of the architecture and all the history that's involved with it, with different people developing it.
I love the way it's both symmetric and asymmetric. I love its irregularity.
Gaudí was always being asked when he expected to be finished. He couldn't say, and no one can today either.
Gaudí also received the same question, and he answered, "My client is not present." I think that is 20 years to arrive to the 12, 15, I don't know.
Word has it that building work should be over by the year 2026, just in time for the 100th anniversary of Antoni Gaudi's death.
Well, another anniversary is being celebrated by the Nymphenburg porcelain manufacturers in Munich, where they've been handcrafting fine porcelain for 260 years. For the occasion, they thought they'd literally dress up an old classic into something brand new. 16 top fashion designers have reclad an haute couture collection of Nymphenburg's famous figurines inspired by the Commedia dell'arte. Euromaxx caught the unveiling in Düsseldorf.
This is Capitano Spavento, a soldier and ladies' man. Giulia, an elegant lady with many admirers, is playing hard to get. And mischievous court jester Mezzettino cradles a monkey in his arms. These figures come from the Italian theatre film Commedia dell'arte. Modeler Franz Anton Bustelli immortalized them in porcelain in 1760.
The special thing about Bustelli's work is that he managed to capture the figures at a specific moment. You could compare it with a snapshot in photography. Their movements are frozen in a very lifelike way.
These figurines remain bestsellers for the Nymphenburg porcelain manufacturers to this day. Their continuing success inspired Jörg Richtsfeld to dress up the characters. The Nymphenburg CEO had prominent fashion designers create their new garments.
It was about developing colors and patterns. So the fashion designers would send us the patterns and colors they'd like, and we began to develop these patterns ourselves. Creating the colors is an especially time-consuming process. Things went back and forth between us and the fashion designers until the designers said, "Yes, that's the color I want."
A love of period costumes is one of French designer Christian Lacroix's trademarks. He chose the character called Giulia. Lacroix dressed the formerly white figurine in a classical gown with bright yellow gloves and a red bow. British fashion designer Gareth Pugh favors dark colors and geometric shapes which hide the body's contours. So it's hardly surprising his Capitano Spavento is black and white from head to toe. Vivienne Westwood, Britain's grande dame of haute couture, found inspiration in Antoine Watteau's painting of the Commedia figures. But her Mezzettino still reflects Westwood's own colourful style.
The strong colors are very typical of Vivienne Westwood, as is the fact that she breaks with tradition. The original Mezzettino had a very refined costume. This Mezzettino sports really crudely stitched together pieces of material, a real patchwork costume which is very Westwood.
Layered and gathered fabrics are very Maurizio Galante. The Italian fashion designer's Octavio's adorned all over with circles. Like the other designers, Galante got to choose which character he wanted to dress.
Octavio in Commedia dell'arte, it's the first lovers, il primo amoroso. Primo amoroso normally is the Galante. Galante means nice person, and my name is Galante. It's a little bit, it's a nice joke. And for this, I choose for Octavio here in the picture, you see, the circle. And circle is for me a symbol of love.
The collection of 16 figurines retail for a cool 160,000 euros. Only 25 copies of each figurine are being produced, and they're already highly prized.
I've known the figures for years, from Nymphenburg in Munich, and I found it fascinating to see them dressed differently.
It's very aesthetic, very nice. I liked it all. I'm happy something as beautiful as this exists.
Haute couture and porcelain, this audience thinks they're a perfect match.
Spaniard Alberto Morillas is a master perfumer, and he's the nose behind such famous scents as Calvin Klein's CK1, Flower by Kenzo, or Giorgio Armani's Sensi. By his own admission, he never takes a holiday, and he can't even survive without his scent bottles, which means even his spare time is devoted to beguiling the senses, with, for instance, his very own line of luxury scented candles, mise en cire.
Mise en cire means placed in wax. Creating perfumed candles and room fragrances is Alberto Morillas' greatest hobby. Close to a decade ago, he opened a small factory on the outskirts of Geneva. Companies who want to sell his candles must approach Morillas personally.
It's a very specific creation when you mix for the candle, because when you create for perfume, it's more the ladies or the man, it's a project, your creation, but when you create for candle, it's more your personality in your house, you know, and you need to smell nice when you buy, you need to smell nice when you burn, and you need to smell nice when it is in the after 2 hours.
Alberto Morillas has created 55 fragrances for mise en cire. The candles are made by hand. To create them, precious essences are mixed with hot wax. Even the length of the wick is chosen to suit the scent. Mise en cire candles take 3 days to make.
We would recommend burning them no less than 1 hour and a half, and no more than 4 hours, because the candle needs to burn evenly, needs to go down evenly. Otherwise, obviously, if you light it up for 20 minutes and then the next day 20 minutes again, well, you will have a hole, and then it won't burn evenly, and it might not burn until the end.
Each candle undergoes stringent quality control before it's dispatched to its new owner. Madonna is a regular customer. Fashion designer Stella McCartney loves rose-scented candles, and today a package is being sent to French shoe designer Christian Louboutin.
When you open this nice box, when you touch the paper is nice, you open and you see immediately the color, and it's you make happy, you know. Every candle it's another color, you know. It's very important because we make the psychological. When you smell the color, you need to immediately to understand the odor.
Switzerland's specialty store Bon Génie carries mise en cire's perfumed candles. They retail for almost 50 euros a piece. When burned properly, they'll give up to 60 hours of enjoyment.
The candle as such is nice, it's simple, it can please anybody. And then most of all, for a perfume candle, you have fantastic perfumes. The scents are incredible. And there you have the touch, the magical touch of the master perfumer, Mr. Morillas.
The master is already working hard on his next creation. Morillas' favorite scent is that of fresh snow, but that's a bit difficult to keep in a bottle.
Well, as the birthplace of haute cuisine, France is still regarded by most gourmets as the best place to indulge in fine gastronomy. So it's rather surprising to learn that the French are flocking in increasing numbers to southern Germany for a high-class meal. The small Black Forest town of Baiersbronn boasts 7 Michelin stars, and its 3 top restaurants are a hit with its French neighbors, who are only too happy to drive a few hours for a slice of gourmet heaven.
The small town of Baiersbronn in the Black Forest is a popular destination for gourmets from neighboring France. And it's getting more popular every year. Baiersbronn has no less than 2 3-star restaurants, and one of them is the Barreis. Its head chef is Klaus-Peter Lump.
In the past, we'd all go to France to learn from the masters. It's still an experience, but these days, word has gotten out you can eat very well here in Germany too.
Yolande Haag and her friends have come from Strasbourg. The restaurant is a perfect venue for a festive occasion, and today the ladies are celebrating Madame Haag's birthday. They're starting with champagne and they're looking forward to Klaus-Peter Lump's three-course menu.
On the one hand, this is a place with typical German efficiency, and on the other hand, the warmth and hospitality of southern France. And the food. Anyone who's been to the Baiersbronn and tried one of Klaus-Peter Lump's dishes, like venison, will know how utterly divine it is here.
There are 10 chefs in the kitchen, all hard at work, preparing a menu inspired by classic French haute cuisine. But Klaus-Peter Lump is, after all, German, and that means he's kept his feet firmly on the ground. Nevertheless, he's flattered that so many French people come here to enjoy his food.
It's a well-known fact that the French are gourmets and bon vivants. They love fine food and the good life. So obviously, I'm delighted to welcome so many French guests to my restaurant.
Sommelier Jürgen Fendt knows from experience which wines his French guests prefer.
In the past, our French guests were very set on drinking nothing but French wine. The wines they knew. These days that's changed a lot. Our French guests are much more willing to try new wines, and especially German ones.
Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Klaus-Peter Lump is busy preparing the next course for Yolande and her friends. It's glazed saddle of venison with black chanterelles. And it looks as good as it tastes.
I think the Baiersbronn is blazing a trail for innovative German cuisine. Thanks to restaurants like this, Germany can be proud of the fact that it now equals France in terms of cuisine.
Baiersbronn may be small, but it has a growing international reputation as Germany's haute cuisine capital. It attracts so many French visitors that it throws an annual party on July 14th, the French national holiday. It's a celebration of French and German friendship and a shared love of fine dining.
It's the town's 7th Michelin star that has confirmed our status as Germany's gourmet capital. It's that status that attracts our French visitors.
After their meal, Yolande Haag and her friends go for a short stroll. They say they loved every minute of their visit, and they say they'll definitely be back.
Oh la la. Well, back now to the German capital, where jazz music has been creating a bit of extra warmth at the city's annual jazz festival. Now, the event traditionally attracts musicians and fans from all over the world. This year, renowned Swedish jazz trombone player Nils Landgren is the festival director, and we spoke to him on opening night.
It's opening night at the 2008 Berlin Jazz Festival. The Arne Jansen Trio from Germany is playing in the capital. In the audience is Nils Landgren from Sweden, the freshly minted festival director.
Die setzen irgendwie den
They're setting the benchmark for the vision I have for the festival. Experienced bands who've been through a lot together. They've practiced together, sweat together, argued and everything.
Geschwitzt und zusammen sich geärgert und die haben also gestritten und alles.
Ich bin mir sicher, dass das Jazzfest davon sehr profitieren wird, dass jemand.
I'm sure the festival will benefit a lot from someone like him.
Denn nicht nur
under his direction, all sorts of jazz will get a look in, and not just mainstream.
Ihren Platz finden werden.
There's a lot to live up to. The festival is over 40 years old and has starred some all-time jazz legends such as Dizzy Gillespie and Herbie Hancock, who's expected this year too.
Landgren is no stranger to Berlin. He headed up the jazz festival once before in 2001, when the focus was on music from Scandinavia. This year, musicians from all over the world have headed for the German capital. There's something for every taste. Landgren has strong links to Germany. His record company is based here and he teaches at the Music Academy in Hamburg.
Germany is almost as much a home for me as Sweden. I love Germany because people here are still curious about things in a way you don't very often find in Sweden.
That curiosity has translated into huge interest in the festival. 80% of the tickets for the 18 concerts were snapped up in advance and the opening night was sold out.
It's a new form of integrating jazz guitar into a classical jazz trio. It has excellent melodious features. That's fine jazz.
I thought it was very interesting. My husband is a musician and he knows the scene very well, and he absolutely had to come this evening.
This year's Jazz Festival, one of the top events on the music agenda in Berlin.
Well, also in Berlin, the French theatre company Royal de Luxe has been causing a stir at the city's ritziest department store. Now, the troupe has taken the display windows as their stage, and a colourful cast of mannequins is keeping passers-by on their toes with a darkly imaginative daytime soap.
Berlin's traditional Kaufhaus des Westens, or KaDeWe, is the largest department store in continental Europe. In its long history, the store has never seen anything quite like this. The shop window has been transformed into a stage. The actors are mannequins, who act out short dramas depicting everyday events in surreal form. The Revolt of the Mannequins has been produced by the Royal de Luxe Theatre Group and its creative director, Jean-Luc Courcou. The French artist is known in particular for his street theatre, which he conducts on a grand scale. This Berlin performance is much smaller than his usual works and takes place behind glass. But the principle, he says, is much the same.
All I'm doing is intervening in the interior of an existing environment. I allow two worlds to collide with each other, and the shock which that produces allows me to tell a story.
The Revolt of the Mannequins is a kind of poetic comic strip. The stories develop a little more each day. An opera diva bellows out ear-splitting sounds until a commando of dwarves intervenes using rather heavy-handed tactics. Another mannequin falls victim to an attack, which unleashes outrage among her friends. It quickly descends into a fight. The play deals with stark human emotions like fear, anger, love, and hope.
It's not complicated to find stories like this. What's complicated is turning these stories into the dreams and nightmares of a department store mannequin. That's what it's about. That's what makes it poetry.
Every night, the scenes are rearranged. Similarities between the figures and the artists are no coincidence. The creators base the characters of the mannequins on themselves. The next day, shoppers can see the next installment of the story.
I think it's great. Very, very interesting.
It's a very novel idea and entertaining. It's different.
It makes you think about whether it's supposed to be taken seriously or not.
It's something different for a change, not what you usually see in store windows. I'll have a closer look when I get inside.
The atmosphere in the KaDeWe is itself very theatrical. Every day, 50,000 customers visit the store. The goods displayed throughout the 60,000 square meters of shopping space are classy and expensive. For the next week, shoppers will have an extra reason to come here.
We're among the top stores, and because of that, we naturally seek first-class partners. Royal de Luxe is one of the world's leading theater companies.
The shop has put on a reception for the artists. Jean-Luc Courcou is full of ideas. He's already planning his next few projects.
Soon we go to Mexico to take part in the anniversary celebrations of the Mexican Revolution.
Cuckoo is already being celebrated in Berlin. He'd like to return next year with a special event to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall.
And don't forget, if you want to see any of those reports again, all you have to do is visit the website shown on your screen. And that's all for this time. So until we meet again, tschüss from Berlin and bye-bye.